Henderson County also looking like it's weakening at least some. Really no strong hail indicator there, so that would be a stronger sign if it did have the hail that it might be becoming one of those supercell type storms. But without the hail, it honestly doesn't look like it's that particularly strong at the moment. And that rotation, at least to my knowledge, there keeps looking like it's getting weaker and weaker. Joel.
Yeah, Michael, I'm not overly concerned right now with this storm for anyone in East Texas. But as I said, if we go back a couple of scans here, you can still see where it was a concern. Right here around 424. That's why they issued the tornado warning. You do see that this is what we call tight rotation. That's when we believe there was a funnel cloud that was actually reported. But as you zoom kind of the picture out here a tad, and then we'll kind of go in over the last 10-15 minutes, you see that rotations really kind of have disappeared. But if there was a tornado right now, here would be the most likely chance for this to actually make its way into Henderson County. So again, if you know anyone there in extreme western Henderson County, in the Sticks area, we're really not getting any communities showing up. Brittany, can you pull up just a map or find our weather map there of Henderson County and see if we can find any, cultural interests or anything that is in that area that maybe we can let people know, because according to our weather system, we're really not seeing anything showing up in extreme western Henderson County. Obviously, we do got the river there, but once you get to the east of the river, really looks like it's a pretty rural area, which is good. But again, if there was a rotation that could be producing a tornado, this would be about all that I can see here with this current tornado warning, which is out until 5:15. I think this storm will be impacting our viewing area, western Henderson County, in the next 5 minutes or so. And I think by 15 minutes later, it is going to move out. So there's our latest scan. Here's the area where a tornado could have developed out there earlier. I don't see anything imminent showing that. But Michael, Brittany, are we finding anything that's in this area that we can maybe tell people that could be close to where this storm is?
As of now, I'm not finding anything, but if you do want to switch to Max 2 for a second, we can try to zoom in and try to find some of these roads, if possible, underneath some of this sweeping radar. And if we take a look, we can see that most of it is just fields and grass. So we're not really seeing much as far as county roads. You can see here that there is a lot of lightning with these storms. Usually that goes with some of these tornado warnings, but just to the...
All right. Hey, Scotty, can we pull up Max 2 here real quick while Brittany's looking at some stuff? There we go. Go ahead, Brittany.
So in this area, you can see 274, just near 7 points. This is going to be to the west of 7 points that you are under that tornado warning.
All right, so 7 points. Well, let's head back to the other MAX system. 7 points, again, is still well off to the east, I think, of the rotation of this storm. So that's over here on Highway 274. So once you get west over here to 274, pretty rural area here of western Henderson County. The storm will be moving into Kaufman County. There's the Kaufman-Henderson County line right there. So once we get our next scan or two, I think this storm will have moved up out of our viewing area, and we'll go back to regular programming. We are going to have a newscast that kind of continues here after our severe weather coverage. So if we can get our news staff getting ready to go here at 4:45, because after this storm moves out of Henderson County, it'll be out of our viewing area, so our tornado coverage will be wrapping on up, at least for this cell. But there's a lot more going on out there tonight besides just this one storm. So let's kind of pull back up our radar here before we get to a regular newscast, which we think is going to start around 4:45. So we'll kind of zoom this picture out. I think we got about 5 minutes of concern here for this warning in our viewing area, but kind of zoom things out here a little bit. As I said, this is just one of several storms that we are watching. So we got storms over near Longview and another one near Canton. So far, we haven't had any hailmakers. This is our first severe thunderstorm type in East Texas so far today, but it's definitely not going to be our last. If you, again, kind of one more big picture here. Here's that line of storms. This is the one that could turn into, if you hear them talking about a derecho, basically what that is a long-lived, long-stretched, high wind event, which sometimes could see winds up to 80, 90 miles an hour. And that's what we're expecting as this line makes its way into East Texas. Now, it looks nasty now, but the line west of Dallas isn't as, the environment here is not as favorable as it is here in East Texas for storm development tonight. So this line is only going to get worse as it makes its way into East Texas. That's why we do have that moderate risk for severe weather out there. You already see there's a tornado embedded in the line right now where they do have that tornado warning. So we'll get a closer look at a couple of these cells that are out here. Let's kind of put this back into, let's loop this over the last hour or so. You can see the storms, the main line's still several hours away. I think probably around 7 o'clock is when we'll see it approaching some of our western counties. But any of this activity that you see out in front could actually turn in to a tornado. So we'll keep an eye on all of these storms out here tonight. So let's take a quick look there back in Canton over through western Henderson County. So there's our storm now. It looks like it's moving into Kaufman County out of extreme western Henderson County. So in about 4 minutes at 4:45, we're going to start our regular newscast. And obviously, if any of these storms that are tornado warned are back into our viewing area, we'll be breaking in and going for full weather coverage. But there's also this cell here to the north of Canton. That one's continuing to move on up. We do have a tornado watch out for this area till 9. I'm almost certain a tornado watch is coming for Tyler and Longview here in the next couple of hours. So be prepared for that. We'll kind of pan off here. We'll kind of move these storms off to the west here. And then we'll kind of look there. It looks like there's another one near Oak Grove trying to go up. And then we also got this cell here to the northeast of Longview. It's racing, but it's really kind of weakening. So far, these storms out in front of the main line are struggling to materialize, which is good. But as these storms do move into East Texas and as that main line gets closer, our instability is going to be increasing, and I think we'll see more rotating storms here showing on up. But this cell between Jefferson and Hugh Springs, not very impressive out here, which is good. So again, a quick look at Tyler. We had a weak thunderstorm roll through earlier. Looks like we're pretty quiet here, but if you notice, that's where the tornado watch is, just to the west of Smith County. So we'll be seeing Smith County, Cherokee County, Gregg County added to that tornado watch here coming up pretty soon. So one more look at our tornado warned storm. Looks like it's now all the way into Kaufman or into Kaufman County. So let's take a closer look at that one more time on our velocity product. So we'll see if there any more rotation has showed back up. And again, I'm really not seeing much. So I assume that they will allow this tornado warning to expire. But Michael, go ahead.
They're continuing to leave that warning in effect, at least for now. As of 4:41, continuing that warning for possible rotation located 13 miles east of Ennis. Near the Navarro-Ellis County line, potentially tornadic circulation crossing over the Trinity River is picked up by National Weather Service radar out of Dallas-Fort Worth. Something to pass along to you guys as well as we head throughout this evening, and something that will become more and more important as we see that main line pass through with potential power outages. We are streaming right now and will be streaming throughout the night on the CBS 19 app, CBS19.tv, our Facebook page, and the CBS 19 YouTube page as well. Anytime we cut in for severe weather, we're going to be streaming on all those platforms, so you can get us on your mobile devices, laptops, anything like that. Just make sure everything is charged as we head through tonight. Because while this storm only presenting a small risk to us here in East Texas, the night's really just begun, as you mentioned a few times.
Yeah. So you see the center of rotation of this storm now right there on the Henderson and it looks like Kaufman County line. It will be moving into Kaufman County out of our viewing area here within the next couple of minutes. So again, if any of these storms, though, do become tornado warned and they're in our viewing area, we're going to be covering them complete. But we do got a lot more news and weather coverage to bring you tonight. So we're going to keep an eye on any of these storms. We'll kind of throw this in loop one more time for you before we get going to our regular newscast. I'll be listening to our director in the back to let me know how much longer they want me to go on this warning. So, okay, so again, we do have our main line to the west of Dallas, and then we also got this cell here, which is just now moving its way over into Kaufman County. But if this tornado warning is extended and it comes into this area here, and if it continues this track, if it does include any of Van Zandt or Rains County, we're going to break in and continue for our full wall-to-wall tornado warning coverage. But in the meantime, we're going to start our CBS 19 news at 5 o'clock here a little early. Scotty, if you switch over to the Max 2 for the non-severe weather segment for our 4:45, 5 o'clock news, we'll get started on that right now.
Hey there, East Texas. Thanks so much for joining us a little earlier this afternoon. I'm Channing Curtis, and we're here to keep you updated on the severe weather that's coming through East Texas.
I'm Aaron Baker. The rain has already started coming down. Here's video of the rain from Tyler from a few hours ago. It really is coming down.
Yeah, it really is. It started not too long ago, and definitely want to be weather aware right about now. Those storms are only going to get worse throughout the day.
Oh, absolutely. Well, already 5 of our counties are under a tornado watch.
That's right. So what can you expect for the rest of your evening and night ahead? Let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Joel Barnes for the latest. Now, Joel, I know you've been working on tracking the storm system for really the last week. What's the latest?
Yeah, we're still seeing a couple of cells trying to go up in front of the main line, but it'll be the main line that'll bring the most destruction, I think, tonight, not only with straight line winds, but the possibility of some embedded tornadoes in that line. So let's get to it right now. This is what it looked like outside. In the last few minutes, it's very cloudy. We do have that tornado watch out till 9 p.m. We do still have that one tornado warning for that storm moving into Kaufman County right now. That is moving out of our viewing area, but the conditions are more favorable over through Jefferson, Carthage, and Center for actually tornadoes. That area is actually under a 15% risk, moderate risk for tornadoes, and you see that moderate risk for severe weather includes pretty much all of East Texas. The last time we had a moderate risk, we had tornadoes on the ground in Alto, and that definitely will be a possibility tonight. But straight line winds is going to impact everyone in East Texas tonight as that line comes on by. There's an explosive atmosphere shaping up. The hail threat should stay west of Canton for the most part. We can't rule out a couple of hail makers, but I think wind and tornado will be the main threats out there. Here's a main look at our radar product. You do see most of the heavier storms are to the north of Tyler right now. We do have this one cell to the north of Longview that is now tracked up, it looks like, over into portions of Cass County. Here's another cell that we're watching. Looks like north of Canton. And then our cell of the moment is this guy that was producing that, that had that tornado warning spawned out there earlier. So there's the center of rotation for that. So I definitely think that after this last view that they should keep this tornado warning out, but that is in Kaufman County. That is out of our viewing area. So it looks like that storm will continue to track to the northeast, but it could become a problem for extreme northern Van Zant and western Rains County. So if we get a tornado warning out for those counties, we will be breaking in. Here's a look at our forecast for the remainder of the night. Our greatest threat will be between 9 p.m. and midnight here in Tyler for damaging winds and tornadoes. And here's a look at the timing of that main line as it is expected to come on through between 6 and 9 over there in the yellow, 9 to 1 in the orange, and 11 to 3 into the red. So although so far we've avoided anything significant across East Texas, I'm not sure that will be the case for the remainder of the night. I would say more likely than not, you're going to have a severe thunderstorm warning out for wherever you are across East Texas at one time tonight.
All right, thanks, Joel. We have crews across East Texas monitoring the situation this evening.
That's right. Let's go ahead and check in with Tim Wolf. Now, he's out monitoring the storm out in Longview. Hey, Tim.
Yeah, hey there, Aaron and Channing. We are here in downtown Longview where we've set up a base of operations with our news partners, the Longview News Journal. They've been generous enough to give us a space out here. And as you can see, we've got a little bit of rain coming down right now. Nothing too bad so far. We've had some thunder and lightning on and off. Speaking with our meteorology team, they've told me we've got a non-severe storm moving through here right now. And later this evening, we're going to have some storms continuing in from the southwest towards this Longview area. Now, I did speak to Longview and Gregg County officials this afternoon. They have the Emergency Operations Center on standby. That means they've got emergency personnel ready to help anybody who's got a problem in the surrounding area should that problem arise. But they do want to stress they'd rather be prepared for something that's not going to happen than unprepared for something that does happen. So they want to make sure that everybody is staying at home, staying safe, not getting stuck on the road during these storms. And again, as of right now, it's not so bad. It's dropped a couple degrees since we've got here. We've been here a few hours, a little bit of rain coming down, and we got some clouds, a little bit of thunder and lightning here and there. But again, non-severe storms here in Longview so far, and we'll be here all evening checking in and out with you guys. For now, in Longview, Tim Wolf, CBS 19.
All right, thanks, Tim. Well, meteorologist Michael Behrens joins us now, and we've been talking about this all throughout the week, but it just bears repeating. As people are preparing for these storms, what are some things that they should take with them into their storm shelter?
Yeah, you really want to have anything with you in the storm shelter that in the event you wouldn't be able to get to it later that you're going to need with you. That could mean things like medication. That could mean things obviously like your cell phone. We've mentioned several times that you want to keep a good rugged pair of shoes with you in case one of those storms did come through and did cause cause some damage. You don't want to be walking on things like broken glass or debris and stuff like that with unprotected to feet. That's a good thing to keep with you. Temperatures are going to be dropping after the storm pushes through tonight, so bring like a sweatshirt, a hoodie, something that could keep you a little warmer staying there. And it's going to be coming through tonight about the point many people will be going to bed too. So I mean, it's not a bad idea. Maybe just bring, if you got like under the stairwell area or an interior closet, make it hard. Just bring like a pillow or something down there that if you have to spend an extended period of time there, to make yourself comfortable.
And one of the things that we've been talking about a lot, even in our own meetings here in the newsroom, is that the fact that these storms are coming through so late in the evening, and so that does add an extra layer of danger to the situation. So what can people do to make sure that they're safe tonight as they're going to bed, perhaps?
Well, one of the first things that you need to do, especially if you're going to be going to sleep, make sure you have something that's going to wake you up in the event of a weather emergency coming through your area. Of course, you can get the wireless emergency alerts on your phone. You can get the alerts from the CBS 19 mobile app. Make sure you have those activated. And then weather radios are another good way to get that information if you're going to be in a situation where you're going to bed. But the other danger of it being nighttime storms, don't count on the fact that you can see a storm coming. You may not see that coming your direction. I mean, obviously you'll hear the thunder, you'll see the lightning out there, but those more individual threats, like if you're looking out the window and go, I'll wait till I see like a funnel cloud or something, you're not going to see that at night. So you just, when the warnings come out, that's when you need to take the preparedness actions.
Now this is a tough one because, you know, a lot of us have pets, but what about pets? If you can't get them into, unfortunately, the shelter at the same time, is it good just to let them go? I mean, I know they're lower to the ground, so it's a little easier for them in some cases.
Yeah, some advice with the pets. First of all, if you have a collar for your pet, make sure they're collared. Make sure if they do end up getting out in a storm that they'd be able to get returned to you in some way afterwards. If you have some anxiety medication, I know some people keep it for their dogs or their cats when they go through thunderstorms because they'll get a little anxious. Giving them a dose of that before the storms arrive, that's going to be something good to do. Another thing, if you can't get them into your shelter, just absolutely make sure they're not chained up. They're not in a pen, they're not in a kennel. They're better off being able to escape the storm with their own means because they kind of have that intuition. They know when the bad stuff's going to hit. You just want to make sure they're not pinned down and they have a way to get away.
And now another one of the things is that people are concerned about right now is being outside, especially right now it's a high traffic time. So what should you do if you're caught outdoors during a storm?
If you're caught outdoors during a storm, step one is try to find a place of shelter. If you see a hotel, an event venue, a restaurant, something that's sturdy together, try to get in there, try to get into shelter. In the event that you can't get into a shelter, there are certain things that you don't want to do. You don't want to go under an overpass. That's an incredibly dangerous place to be. They act as wind tunnels. The debris gets stuck up under there, and it's a bad situation. You don't want to stay in your car because the cars can get thrown in these types of storms, and again, that's a bad situation. You want to get out, you want to get low to the ground in a ditch if you can, provided that it's not with water because you don't want to be in something where you'd be fighting the water too. But when you do get down on the ground, cover up your head, protect your head is one of the biggest things to do as well. But general advice for tonight, with the line of storms coming through and the amount of severe wind we're expecting with it and all the trees in East Texas, once that line starts to enter the region, just don't be on the roads if you don't have to be out.
And you mentioned driving, but also, you know, with just being safe with portable chargers as well and things like that, making sure you have those.
Yeah. Extra batteries, make sure you have your car charger for your phone. Your phones are charged up. If you have battery banks, those are a good thing to have as well. Just anything that you can keep devices charged with. If you have a portable power radio or a portable weather radio, flashlight, something that's got extra batteries, or to keep those stocked up and ready to go too.
Gotcha. All right. Thanks, Michael.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Michael. Now, also, of course, you can always stay connected with us on our mobile app, like you mentioned tonight. We're also compiling a list of power outages, places where you can go if you do need shelter, if you are caught outdoors during the storm and everything.
Yeah. Very, very important. Well, several athletic events have been canceled across East Texas as well.
That's right. Now, take a look at your screen. Bullard and Chapel Hill, Bullard ISD announced that all of their sub-varsity games have been canceled. Now, the boys and girls basketball games have been moved. The girls game will start at 3 and the boys at 4:30 p.m.
And games between Tyler, Lee, and Rockwall, those were scheduled for Friday. Those have been canceled as well. Those games will be played Saturday at Heath High School. The boys, 9th grade boys, will play at 10 a.m. 9th grade boys A team at 11:30 a.m. JV boys at 1 p.m. The varsity boys at 2:30 p.m. The girls and 9th grade teams will play at 12 p.m. There's a lot of different games going on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. And now Kilgore versus Cumberland Academy. Now, Kilgore ISD announced that their 9th and JV basketball games have been canceled for today. The varsity girls will play at 4, followed by the varsity boys at 5:15.
And then White House versus Lufkin. They announced their basketball doubleheader at Lufkin. It'll be rescheduled for earlier in the day. The girls will play off at 4 p.m. The boys will tip off at 5:15 p.m.
All right, we're going to go ahead and send things back over to our chief meteorologist, Joel Barnes. Joel, what's the latest on these storms?
Yeah, that tornado warning that was out for the Kaufman County area that could have impacted Van Zant, Rains County, that has been canceled. That doesn't mean that that storm won't spin up again, so we'll keep a close eye on that situation. Let's check out the radar here real fast, though, before we go to break. I do want to show you that there's still 3 storms now we're watching going up. There's one near Emory, one to the east of Sulphur Springs, and one that is to the west of Canton near Terrell. All 3 of these storms are going to continue to move up to the north. It's pretty quiet so far to the south of Tyler, but that doesn't mean we won't see storms developing there. But any one of these storms that we see to the north could rotate and turn into a severe thunderstorm warning or possibly a tornado warning. I believe we're going to toss to a break right now, but we'll be back here in just a couple of minutes. All right. I guess we're gonna stay with it right now. So I guess we're gonna continue our coverage. So Channing, Aaron, what do you guys got?
All right, thanks, Joel. Well, when severe weather hits, you know we've got you covered here at CBS 19. So if something happens and you need help or you just want to ask us some questions about the storm or how to stay safe, you can.
That's right. You can give us a call on our station helpline. That's the number right there on your screen. It's 903-600-2600. And as always, CBS 19's got you covered, East Texas. And also, in the event of a disaster that strikes your area and you're in need of assistance by the American Red Cross, their number is also available on your screen. Now, Tammy Prater with the American Red Cross says one way to get ahead of the game is to be prepared. It's the most important thing. So think about all of the things that you and your family will need. Now, your emergency kit should have a few essentials, such as a first aid kit, batteries, and an emergency radio, as well as a 3-day supply for food and water. It's always important.
It's one of those things, and I'm guilty of this too. I don't think about it until these things happen, but always get these things prepared and put them in your shelter beforehand, so you know when you go in there, you have your water, you have your portable portable battery packs, you have everything you need, your shoes, like Joel or like Michael mentioned, rather.
Absolutely. And one of the things, like we kept mentioning a few minutes ago, keeping your devices charged, keeping your phone charged, your laptop, anything like that that you might need throughout the night, so that you can stay weather aware if the power does go out. Blankets are always a good idea as well. ID.
Yep. ID, and then those couch cushions as well. Keep those in your secure area so you can put those over your body if needed.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that Brittany Marillis was telling us. As a matter of fact, yesterday and earlier today, that's a great way to keep yourself safe.
It is. We'll stay connected to our website and, of course, KYTX News app as well to follow this story. We now return you to our regular programming.
All right, hey there again, East Texas. Thanks again for joining us for CBS 19 News at 5. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Aaron Baker. Well, of course, lots of kids got out of school early today, getting ahead of the severe weather that's moving into our area right now.
Now, we've been talking about this all week, and Chief Meteorologist Joel Barnes has been tracking these storms for us. So what's the latest, Joel?
Yeah, we kind of had a little wrench thrown in there in the last 45 minutes. We did have a tornado warning issued for just a tiny sliver of Henderson County, but we got you covered here at CBS 19. If there's a tornado warning anywhere in our viewing area, we're going to cover it in its entirety as long as it is impacting some of our viewers out there. We take every one of our viewers the same here at CBS 19, even if you're in a big city of Tyler or if you're out in extreme western Henderson County. Let's get right to it, though. This is what it looked like in the last few minutes. It's still gray, gloomy here in the Tyler area. Look at those clouds. They are moving across the sky. So the atmosphere is unfortunately going to get worse out here tonight across East Texas. There's tornado warnings west of Dallas, but just a tornado watch for our viewing area right now till 9 p.m. Almost certain that tornado watch will be expanded to include Tyler, Longview, and Jacksonville coming up here in the next couple of hours. There is a look at our tornado risk. It is greatest in the red, but anyone in that yellow, we only get in the yellow on tornado risk 10%, maybe a few times a year here in Tyler, and our wind risk is significant out there. Does include a huge area of East Texas through the Arklatex, but that's a 45% chance of dealing with a severe thunderstorm, including some of the wind variety. Some winds could gust 60, 70, maybe 80 miles an hour as this line comes by tonight. Hail threat not expected to be much of a big deal. Here's a look at some of the storms that are out there tonight. It's pretty quiet in Tyler and Longview. We're watching this one cell, though, over just to the west of Atlanta. There's another one going up near Mount Vernon to the northeast of Picton. Another one heading for Sulphur Springs. And then our big cell right now just still west of Van Zant County over into Kaufman. None of these are producing hail right now. None of them are rotating at the current moment, but each one of them could over the next 30 minutes. So we're going to keep an eye on any of these storms that do develop out there tonight. This was our tornado warned storm that we broke in for, one that was just to the west of Gun Barrel City. We also have a flash flood watch out tonight. There's already flash flood warnings west of I-35, and those 2 tornado warnings, that's the line coming our way here a little bit later. So if you have to be out tonight, you better get it done in the next few hours, because come 7, 8 o'clock, things are going to start to get worse around here. And between 9 and midnight is our most significant time of dealing with severe weather. We're under at high risk pretty much for damaging winds and tornadoes tonight across East Texas as the line comes on by. There's a look at our main line timing. Again, any of the storms that go up over the next few hours could rotate, but it's that main line coming through later. It's going to impact everybody. We'll dig deeper into your forecast, full hour by hour, more on exactly when that line will approach in your area coming up later on in the show. Channing, Aaron.
Most of these things are in your house, but in an emergency, can you grab them? And so that's why we recommend you have everything kind of close together in a kit where you can grab it in a hurry.
Now, as we're preparing for more severe weather, the American Red Cross says to have an emergency preparedness kit.
Your kit should have a few essentials such as a first aid kit, batteries, and an emergency radio. It should also include a 3-day supply of food and water, first aid supply, and a change of clothes. Now, they also suggest having a meeting place for your family in the event a tornado were to strike. And being exposed outdoors is one of the worst places to be in a tornado or severe thunderstorm.
That's right. But if you are outdoors during a tornado warning, here's what you need to do. First, try to find a sturdy building to go into, and once inside, crouch down. Now, if you can't find any building, then go to the lowest area on the ground, like a ditch, and lie flat facing down and cover your head. Well, now that we've covered what you need to do if you get caught outside, it's important to know how to prepare yourself at home.
Yeah, CBS 19's Matt Lackritz breaks down what last-minute things you need to do before the storms this evening.
When all is said and done, there is likely to be power outages throughout the region as well as debris. Here are a few things that you should consider doing before the worst of the storms. First, one of the most important things you want to do is get off the road and get somewhere safe. Now, if that for you is home, one thing you want to look out for is to make sure to park your car not around any trees. Now, as you head inside, you want to check for anything that could be blown away from the wind. Now, that could be anything from patio furniture, trampolines, to even your very own garbage can. You either want to bring those things inside or tie them down. Now, with the addition of not only the possibility of your power going out, there's also the chance that your water could stop working tomorrow. So here's something that you can do. One thing you can do is take a jug, fill it with water, and then put it in the freezer. This way, if the power goes out and the water stops working, you still have some water to use later. It's also important to keep food in the house that won't go bad if the power goes out. You can also do something like fill up your bathtub with water in case you need to do something like flush your toilet. Now, after the storm has passed, there are still quite a few things you need to look out for, especially while driving. There's a good chance that some traffic lights won't have power tomorrow, so if you run into one that doesn't, make sure to treat it as a 4-way stop, and of course, keep an eye out for any debris on the road. We've got you covered, East Texas. Matt Lackritz, CBS 19.
Now we have crews all over East Texas monitoring the severe weather situation.
Let's check in with CBS 19's Tim Wolf, who's monitoring it in Longview. Hey, Tim.
Hey, Aaron and Channing. Yeah, we are set up right outside the Longview News Journal building. They are our news partners, and we are very thankful to them for giving us a spot to set up a little base of operations while we manage the coverage of the weather out here in Longview moving forward tonight. Now, I actually see some blue sky through the clouds right here right now, so it looks like this non-severe storm that's been rolling through here is weakening a little bit as we speak. Speaking to our meteorology team a little while ago, we were getting a non-severe storm coming through here with some more non-severe storms coming up through the southwest later on. Now, we had some rain coming down off and on, thunder and lightning, but again, non-severe weather here in Longview so far. But they are preparing for the worst at the Gregg County and the city of Longview. They have their emergency operations center up and running with emergency crews on standby if anybody needs to call 911 and get help. And they also wanted to remind everybody, stay inside, stay at home. Please do not get stuck on the road should this situation turn nasty in the next couple of hours. Now, as we continue to cover this, we will be here in Longview in downtown. Stay with us here, and I'll be checking in with you guys off and on throughout the evening. But for now, in Longview, Tim Wolf, CBS 19.
All right, thanks, Tim.
Well, Governor Greg Abbott is making sure the state is prepared to send additional resources should the severe weather predicted for tonight call for it.
That's right. They're putting boards, helicopters, rescue teams, and medical strike teams on standby. Now, the governor is also elevating the state operations center to level 3, which is an increased readiness.
And remember, several counties are now using a new program called RAVE. Rusk and Gregg counties have already made the switch. Smith County will start using the new service later this year. To sign up, you can head over to smart911.com. And of course, when severe weather hits, you know we've got you covered. So if something happens in your area and you need help, or you just want to ask us some questions about the storm or how to stay safe, give us a call on our station helpline. The number's right there on your screen, 903-600-2600. And as always, we've got you covered, East Texas.
Now for your top 5 at 5, a 15-year-old from Dallas County has become the youngest victim of a vaping-related illness. Now, according to new CDC numbers, 57 people have now died in connection with vaping in 27 states and Washington, D.C. A study shows the teen vaping rate has more than doubled in the last 2 years. And after a couple of days of relative calm and cooperative weather, Mother Nature is poised to once again feed the flames ravaging much of Australia. New reports say more than 1 billion animals have died in the fires and more than 2,000 homes have been destroyed. On top of all the wildlife killed so far in the wildfires, World Wildlife Fund Australia estimates another 100,000 livestock animals are dead as a result. Now, the organization also says it fears that the fires could lead to local extinctions and threaten the survival of some species. Now, officials now fear that wind change from the south could